Just a quick update concerning the travel restrictions that have been placed on Nigeria and Nigerians by the current administration in the latest release of an action paper by the federal government. There's a little bit of a confusion regarding who is allowed to enter and who is not allowed to enter. And that comes on the basis of visa issuance and existing visa status. Let me try to explain. The proclamation is 10949. And under that proclamation, certain nations have been included in either the total ban or partial restriction. Nigeria has been included in the partial restriction of this particular order. The issue is there was an order on July the 8th, which affected visa holders, and it affected the process of getting visas to come into the country. In the July 8th order, you are not able to get more than 90 days worth of visa approval to enter the United States on your visiting visa, employment visa. That's a different discussion because, while that is the law in terms of what kind of visa you can get, and you have only one entry allowed, before that, you could get multiple entry. You could get a 2-year visa from your consulate, but that has been removed under the July 8th order. So that's for visa issuance. So just keep that in mind. That's for visa issuance. On actual travel restriction, which is the new declaration, which has come up as of December 16th. The difference with that is if you do have a visa and it's valid, you are still able to come into the country. But we're now in a situation where the process of issuing visas has been suspended. Okay? Immigrant, non-immigrant visas, the process of getting a visa from your consulate, from your embassy, has essentially been suspended, right? So there are a few exemptions. But before we get to that, I want to make sure that we understand that. So the process of issuing visas and both immigrant and non-immigrant visas, that's what has been suspended in the newest order. So until that suspension is lifted, for the most part, you're not able to get a visa issued to you. So you understand that's a different issue from having a visa issued to you with a 90-day restriction. Okay, so that's what's going on with the new storyline, and the confusion has come in because people are asking the question: if I already have a visa and I am out of the country, out of the United States, and I'm trying to come back home, does that mean that I can't come back home with this partial suspension, this partial restriction? And the answer to that is there are certain categories that are exempt. In other words, you are allowed to come in if you fall into certain categories. And that's where your lawful permanent residents, i.e., your green card holders, and anyone who is currently holding a visa, that you've been given a visa already. Those are two of the categories that have been exempted, right? Uh, you also have some people who are holding certain visas, or there's a visa category like athletes and diplomats. So this kind of fall into a special category where they are still able to get visas given to them. Okay. So for every other category, your immigrant visas, your non-immigrant visas, visitor visas, B1, B2, all of those visas are currently under the suspension order. And I hope that helps. So it's not a restriction for those who already have their visas already in hand, and those who are lawful residents and of course citizens. You can still travel back to the United States. Okay. But if you are in the process of applying for a visa, this might be what you run into on the other side. Okay. So that's just narrowly treating the issue of who has been restricted, who has been barred, and what has been suspended. I hope that makes some sense. I will follow up with a few other uh, headlines in terms of immigration status right now in the United States. One of the challenges we have, of course, is that it's a fluid situation. There are a lot of changes. If you were making decisions based on the July 8th order prior to this moment, you would have been in a different situation now when they're now deciding, to put the restriction on and the suspension. So that's why I said it's fluid. It's changing. There's confusion, and rightly so, because there's some inconsistency. Even in this current order, the restriction that lists Nigeria mentions immigrants and non-immigrants being restricted, and the suspension applying to immigrants and non-immigrants. But more narrowly tailored, that refers to the issuance of immigrant and non-immigrant visas currently. That's what's being suspended. And then you go further into the proclamation, you get to the exemption clause, right? And that exemption clause is what tells you that this does not apply to lawful permanent residents, current holders of valid visas, and certain visa categories like athletes and diplomats. I have that on the screen. So please keep that in mind as you make your decisions. That's where we are. I will be following up with a few more tips and guidelines for larger immigration issues, but this just seemed like a very urgent thing that people are grappling with. I've been getting calls and I've been explaining it to individuals one by one. But I just thought, let me just do a quick video for the community, and hopefully this helps somebody. You can reach out to me on whatever platform that you see this video. My name is Joshua Femcorday. I'm a licensed attorney, my practice includes immigration, criminal defense, and civil cases as well. So I just thought that I would come in and see who I can help with this. All right, and we'll keep updating everyone as time goes on. Thank you so much. Bye.